Welcome, everyone. Check out this weird shape.
That way?
Up and down. There you go.
There you go. Look at that weird shape.
Well, it is, because look at, you don't normally pinch the glass, and then Chris is poking up the bottom. What could this strange item be?
You ever seen something like this? I've never seen nothing like this.
And what color is it?
Now this is full bar color.
Yowza.
Very red.
I love lingonberries. Right from the Lapland.
Welcome, everyone. You are on the gathering point. Oh, okay.
This is looking like the most symmetrical situation to date.
Can you check if your microphone is on? Because we are on the gathering point and we want everyone to hear what we've got going on.
You definitely heard my lingonberry talk through Chris. Hope you can hear me better now. You guys put it in the chat. Let's hear what you think is being sculpted in this moment. And we're about to show you the final move here in a second. It's not easy with bar color and especially this stiff red. We've got purple on the outside. Little dunk.
So he dunked it in the water to chill the very end so it doesn't pull out too thin. He wants the diameter of these amazing little buggers to be the same, the full length of the cane pull. And cane is glass stretched out in a long fashion. Look at how he's pulling that out. That's looking good. He's going to give it a little extra tug here now. Looking great. It's thinning out all right in here consistently to this thickness right here, which is great. And you're not going to be able to see exactly what type of marini this is until it's cooled down enough. So after we do a couple more amazing pieces of glass live, we're going to nip a little bit off of this and you're going to see exactly what it is.
See how quickly that solidifies?
Yeah, that cooled down literally in like 20 seconds from being molten.
It's not moving anymore.
And now it's hard as a rock.
But it goes right to our giveaway question for the night, which Michelle has conveniently prompted. And here it is. I'll point with my extendo marini. There it is.
Hey, don't be burning the thing.
There's flames
All right,
down
so
there.
glass cools off. You just saw it. We can't touch it yet. How fast did this cool off? The next question is, the next piece is solid glass. How long will that take to cool off? And you're going to find out.
Still hot enough that a little bit of water like this
Sizzles it up.
I'm going to
Will
put
you
this into the box. We're not going to let this sit
my
out like any
microphone off?
old marini and just cool down on its own, or like candy cane, for example. I'd like to tuck this away safe and sound because we want these to chop in perfect, symmetrical, very controlled breakages. Now let's see if we can get a little of that shape down here. Not really. We got all the good stuff. The 95% of the middle is going to be bright red with a purple exterior, heart-shaped marini. It turned out pretty good. All right.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
All right, kind of experimental, kind of not. I'll show you two things. We're working on a project and there's some scraps. This is copper. And we could put this in the glass. We know that it's going to work. And there's shavings, but I'm not going to use the copper. I'm actually going to use this brass.
That's cool looking.
Chris is going to bring over a patty of hot glass, and I'm going to take these sharp little pins, and we're going to set them right on top.
And her fingers are going to be that close to the glass, like within a 1/16 of an inch, folks. So
No,
watch
I'm
her
going to go
yell.
like this. So I'm going to pour these on top of the patty. Then, after it's on top of the patty, we're going to do another patty right away. And then I'm going to punny it and pick it up. So Oliver's going to work on this one too. We're going to make a heart out of
collab.
this. It is a collab.
I did want to add one thing, you guys. We always talk about how cool our adventurine glass is and how it's made with copper flake. This is exactly how adventurine glass is made with copper flake like this.
Wow.
It's mixed right into the tank of glass, and it looks like
Drop me a patty.
adventurine, which is really beautiful. So I just wanted to add that to the factual information. Now I'm going to gather up the bit and drop it for
you
Michelle.
lost it. Jake went.
So I got a question though about these nice little pins over here. Now just a quick prompt for everybody before we get into our introductions. Do you think that with one of these amazing copper rods, bronze,
Yeah, they're super sharp.
we could bend the end over and thread it and use it as a sewing needle
Or an earring.
or an earring or just slice your finger?
I know. That's why they're on this little piece of paper.
I'm trying to get into sewing. It's on the brain.
Ah.
But anyway, let's get back to the glass. So you got Chris here dropping the patty, Michelle as well getting involved in front of the camera to start this show.
All right, now watch. The paper will want to catch fire. All right, the next patty, bring it on.
Here, yep. You want more on here?
Nah,
Oh, they're
I'm
melting
neutral.
a little. They're
Yeah.
bending. There, let me get it.
All right, right on top. I'm going to go get the punny.
I'll take it. Camera's mine. Here's drop number 2.
You want to do
Number
it?
2.
All right.
Anywho, you got Chris.
And I got a punny right here
No,
for
no,
Michelle.
no. Oliver's doing one. You want to do that one?
Well, I mean, we're already here.
All right, Oliver.
Oliver, you've been deducted from your punting
Yeah.
process.
Okay. Just in case you're into
Flip the burger.
burgers. So the
That's a
reason
pretty
I
good
wanted
flip.
to do that is because this side is cooler, that side's hot. You're going to punt it straight up and down in the center so Oliver can make a heart.
Oliver, give him a wave. There he is.
All
Chris, they
right.
waited around. You can't have it too hot to make that connection. So that was that slow process of flipping it around, connecting it on there, wiping off all the shards and burnt material off of the Marver. And now's the perfect time for Bess to say what up.
What up?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did you show?
I have a new fancy light. Shout out Michelle. So when my sign is on, that means the guys in theory are not going to talk
Keep it
over
down.
me. We're going to try it out.
It is only in theory, but we are going to try it out.
Absolutely. We've already got a lot of people logging on. Let's see here. Over on the FB side, we've got a hello from Oliver's grandmother.
Let's go. Grandma
Bill
in the
says
house.
hi everyone. Carol says hi from Sarnia. Annette says hi from Chicagoland. Carrie says hi GA friends. Sherry says hi from New Haven, Michigan. Let's see here. Loretta says good evening everyone watching from Dearborn Heights. Robin says hello my glassy peeps watching from Dearborn, Michigan, home of the Glass Academy.
So in miles, in length of miles, who in the chat is the furthest? Will you monitor this, Bess?
Absolutely.
From the Glass Academy in Dearborn, Michigan.
Do we
Two
have
that come front
Sweden?
to front of mind. Yeah, we have Hannah from Sweden's here watching tonight. We've also got
Okay.
Angel from Argentina. So
Ooh.
Well,
depending
let's get
on
the
mileage.
maps out.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
some
yeah,
people
yeah.
deep on the
Junior.
West Coast that got some big miles in between us as well. Seattle's a lot of miles.
All right.
Yep.
Especially
I
if you take
wanted,
the long way.
I wanted to say Robin has tested all of the glassware. So she's got some comments tonight. And we still have a few openings for our heart class on Friday. So the technique is similar to our heart class. Color pattern's different. We've never done this. So this is a new technique
Nice,
in
Oliver.
color, but not in shape. So
Very
if you
nice.
are local and you want to make a heart for your loved one, we got you covered this Friday.
That's right, Valentine's classes. This is there's 2.5 weeks that we offer the heart class throughout the year with dichroic sparkle glass and a little bit of ambiance here in the studio in Dearborn. And I highly suggest coming in, checking out the new space over here. Not yet serving drinks, but waving at Lucy and seeing the rest of the studio. Everything is looking amazing and incredible. And I'll go to the product table right after Oliver does this second move.
Over on the YT side, we've got Susan from Indiana. Let's see here. Marianne says hello from New Jersey. Frank says hello from Southern California. Pam says glad Oliver is back. We did miss you last week, Oliver.
How you feeling, Oliver?
Much better. Thank you all for asking. I appreciate it. That day off was needed, so I thank everyone who's covering for me here.
Yeah.
Last game's gonna get this neck down a little bit more and get it off. I think
Beautiful.
that funny a lot, he's gonna come off pretty well if I don't hit it a little bit.
I agree.
So Bill had a question in the chat. He said, what happened to sending the Glass Academy your state flag?
No, that still is completely happening. We've mentioned it a few times, but we do have the mass majority of states and countries, or a lot of them over here, but anyone who's new to the show or in a state that's not represented, you got to represent it.
State
Send
or
us
country,
one.
really.
State or country. Country's even better, but state's pretty cool because we do know we got a lot of the United States of America
Planet,
human beings around here.
planet flag.
Global planet flag?
Yeah.
Design it and send it. Shouts out to Carrie for a fresh one.
Sharon says, is Lucy home for good? This is her last Tuesday for a while, right?
That is true. This is Lucy's last Tuesday in a while, but I do think that we may have convinced her to come back home, and there's talk of her being back in November. You know, we might, try and go get a place in Detroit somewhere together, spend some time. It's pretty exciting.
All right,
I would be all
Oliver's
for
going to go
that.
somewhere with this heart. And he's
You want a
going
mold,
to
or
the
are you happy with
knockoff
that?
bench. All right, so these are bronze
Go
and
back to be appreciated.
bronze in the glass, which I've never done. Any of you glass blowers out there done bronze in
We're
your
gonna have
glass?
to stamp it too. Beautiful.
All right, they have a bronze stamp that is going in the side of the glass to symbolize the GA.
Bronze on bronze.
Bronze on bronze on bronze. If you are a member, a Loyalty League member of the Glass Academy, this product is available for you. If you are not a Loyalty League member, never fear. There is more opportunity of things coming your way. Oh,
Folks, before Chris starts it up, we got to reveal our ridiculous, overpowered 19-item Valentine's Heart Marini Ultra Super Limited Bling Bling Pow Pow table.
That's quite the name.
Yes.
who can remember that?
We
Those are-
have 6 tumblers, 6 stem pieces, and 6 mugs, folks. And every single one, except for number 2, has a Heart Marini on it.
right there. Right there.
And this one's got aventurine all over it. Something happened in the planning and the calmness of making these pieces that literally everyone turned out exactly how we wanted it. It's a really out of control, intentionally designed, beautiful product table of drinkware. And there's individual pictures of everyone in the virtual gallery on the Gathering Point tab on our website.
And we're going to make some, so if you're not sure how they're made, you're going to see.
Look at this. All the mugs are bar color,
What does
which
that
means
mean?
that's a very dense power rod of color. We've used it on the show before. It takes about twice as long putting that pattern on, but that means that it's got this deep, beautiful, perfect overlay of color. They all have sparkle glass on them, and they all have a Heart Marini on the handle, except
right,
for
hold
number
still.
2.
We're going in.
These are some of the nicest mugs in quite a while. We do have one flower vase on the table, number 1. Beautiful bright green with the Heart Marini. And I mean, we'll go over more of them in a minute, but it's really out of control. And we don't pull the Heart Marinis out any time of year. We made about 5 different color patterns this year. And we also changed it from the round design to actually being able to sculpt the heart shape. So I think that is a progression in Glass Academy talent and capability.
Look at how cool they are. So when you were here at the start of the show, you actually got to see Jake pull a strip of that. And where did you guys put it?
I put it in the annealing
Oh,
oven
because we're gonna nip it up.
Yeah, we could, just like we do candy cane, nip them and just go right for it. But unless you cool it down slow and smooth like that, even on a small scale, they'll cut so much more precise and particular when we've cooled it down in the correct way. That's a nice big one right there.
Yeah, so that one will look like this if the camera would focus.
I'm trying to help. There we go.
There we
I
go.
clicked it.
We got an on-air sign over here.
I was just going to read a comment from Jody. Jody says, hi from still snowy Prince Edward Island, Canada. It's World Cancer Day. Shout out to all of you fab survivors out there. Prayers to anyone fighting and hugs to those who've lost loved ones. My mom's a 15-year breast cancer survivor.
Holy moly, that's amazing.
Yeah, put some good mojo out there. And we're actually going to be picking our charity for our charity show next week during
Tonight.
this show. So that's just a beautiful segue.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what you making?
All right. I'm making a piece of drinkware, folks. It's a new technique we're going to try to do, making hearts with some optics. And it's never been done before, so we're going to see if it works. It
Never been done before.
It might not.
It's the beauty of the gathering point, folks.
But I put a light, transparent coat of purple,
It's the new purple.
the new purple, on this, and then I'm going to dust the cracks with the red to stay within the Valentine's Day theme. And I'm just working on the body of the vessel right now.
Another question for the people is if anybody actually has plans for Valentine's Day already.
I feel like today's what, the 4th?
Yes.
I feel like it's 10 days away. It seems like it's light years away.
10
but
days feels kind of like a well-prepped situation. Would you say, Oliver?
Oh!
Yeah, I have a
Kayla's
whole
watching.
plan already and super spectacular.
Uh-huh.
Tell us what you and your fiance are going to do.
Surely, yes.
But she's watching the show, you can't say, right?
I don't want to ruin all the surprise, so I can give, I can give you a little taste.
Yes.
Little,
Would
how
love
Oliver
that.
lives his life a little bit.
Would love that.
Valentine's Day is a Friday, so I will be here.
Hey, that's not that bad.
We got chocolates. We've got all kinds of stuff.
I got it.
If I had to guess, I'm going to be teaching some art classes on Friday. I'm going to get into the mojo.
That's
with
right.
People coming into the studio.
That's right.
And then afterwards, probably take Kayla out for some sushi. She loves sushi. It's a little guilty pleasure of ours, and we might indulge in that.
There's nothing really that guilty about sushi, is there?
The price tag.
The price, yep.
Yeah,
there
right?
it is.
Pam,
Agreed.
Pam has a question.
Pam.
She would like to know how you chop the marini.
Ah, what a great question.
What was the question?
How we chop the marini. It depends on the thickness and it depends on how well they were cooled down and the color that we're using. This particular piece was cut with a saw, and it has to be because these nippers won't get around it and it would just break it and bust it and just crumble it into nothing good. So what we do,
Doo-doo.
do.
Oh, no.
I said it, it's true, is use the nippers on the smaller style, and it usually works really good.
So nippers work on this side.
Yep, and you just go right down the line. And ideally, I mean, the shape's going to vary on each one. That's the handmaidedness. I was watching a few different videos of different companies, seeing a lot of
Hello,
glass
Oliver.
content regarding heart-themed products, obviously, right now. But there's kind of a new trend in
Good.
glass shops to be using a machine to laser cut glass
Shut up.
and cut out decals.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And a couple of them were pretty cool. I saw a Marini pole. I saw people just cutting heart shapes and laying them onto the pieces, kind of like we're doing with the Marinis, but there did seem to be, in my opinion, a little lack of the handmaidedness and the mojo when they're exactly the same cutouts on every single piece. It's becoming really into a factory style of blowing glass and a robotic style, if you will. And that's everybody's own personal style, but maybe I'm just really happy with
Okay.
what we've done this year.
I want to say you showed the tile nippers, you talked about the saw, but there's also the other Marini chopper.
That's right.
So there's 3 things that we can use to chop up Marinis.
Yeah, we've got one that has your chopping bar this side on either side, this wide, and it goes like that, and you turn a crank.
And it's super soft. It's really cool.
Chris is getting really intricate in here and involved in this color pattern.
A little hard to tell. It looks kind of like a raisin right now, but the pattern in the end is going to be amazing. So hang out and watch.
A nice Valentine's raisin.
That's what I'm saying. It won't be a raisin at all. Who remembers it? Go ahead. You're good.
I was just gonna say that the Loyalty League piece is available.
What was that?
Loyalty League piece is available.
Ah, yes.
That's all I was gonna say. So Loyalty League members, you guys can check your link, and that bronze and glass heart is available for you.
Beautiful. Collab, Michelle and Oliver. You don't see that often.
Dun, dun. And I will say, speaking of members,
That's right.
members gifts, your first quarter gift, whether you're a Star supporter or a Loyalty League, your gift has shipped today.
Bess, if you want to prompt them with the old sign-up code, perhaps, to membership.
I sure can.
This is a great time to sign up to get the perks from the beginning, but to be a Star supporter or a Loyalty League member, support what we do, the streaming that we do, and get insider content. We send out quarterly gifts, discount codes, and those are in the mail right now. So next week we'll be checking in with what you guys thought of those, and I think you're going to love them. But we also have a new creature coming up in our spring show. That's going to be March 22nd and 23rd that weekend, but of course we'll do the live stream the Tuesday before, and we have in fact decided what the creature will be, and it starts with the letter T and ends with
E.
the letters ERT. Pterodactyl. That would be a cool creature, though.
Starts with a T and an pterodactyl.
Let's not mislead them here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
All right, Chris is deep in conversation, or not conversation, in concentration, because he's not talking.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't have any room to talk because everybody was talking, right? That's rule number one, is don't talk when everyone else is talking.
That's what we're trying to do.
So
it is
I'm
true.
sticking with the plan, folks.
I
Looking pretty
appreciate
good.
it.
All right, you want to talk about what's in the garage?
Yeah, those are those Marinis. We got the garage fired up, actually probably hotter than it needs to be right now. It's at about 1,100 degrees. So I'm going to tuck it down if I can manually just with this lever and get it down to about 1,000. If I could drop it down 100 degrees, I think would be...
And why are they in there?
They're preheating because once Chris has got his pattern on the top of his glass, this will be the drinking portion of this vessel, and he finishes up the bottom and flips it around, he's going to decide to place the Marini on this piece in some place. And if you take a cold heart, ice cold heart, and you stick it onto a beautiful handmade glass, the heart explodes.
Isn't that what happens when your heart's cold? When
Yeah.
you're cold-hearted?
Your heart explodes?
It's hard to see, but
Something like that. The Grinch?
his heart exploded.
And then it, but didn't he
Me
become
too.
a lover in the end?
Well, then you got attacked.
Because of little Mindy Lou.
Cindy Lou?
Yeah, Cindy Lou.
Yeah, with her curls or whatever.
Yeah.
There's something going on in her head.
So these actually turned out pretty darn cool.
Yeah?
But what I ended up having to do is I used the feathering fork to pull the bottom down, and then I heated the top and grabbed a hold of it, pinched together, and pushed it in. And it made a heart shape.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody knows what you were shooting for.
I think it did. I said I was going
There's
to make
no
hearts out of
drawing
them.
on the ground.
This piece is going to be for sale. Typically, the first piece of the show goes to members only, and that was the Heart collab piece with Michelle and Oliver, and now these will be available to the public. First come, first serve. We're only making one of each style, and Bess will let you know when they're available on the website.
The items on the table, those go live at 6:30. We give everyone a chance to get into the show,
Okay,
see what's
blow,
going
Oliver.
on, feature one or two
Lightly.
of them.
Stop.
I've never seen this
Okay,
ever
blow.
done before. This was Oliver really brainstorming after we had a sweet session the other day making some of that drinkware on the table, and he came in today with a drawing of what if we moved the optics around and tried to create a heart shape with the thickness of the glass. And this is the very first attempt at doing something like that.
We'll take one
Come on
more.
in.
At a minimum, even if we didn't get the heart shape in it, moving the objects around is going to make
Something
something
cool.
totally sweet.
Give me a bench blow.
And completely unique.
Blow.
Do you want to introduce everyone, Jake? I don't know that we did.
Blow. Keep
I
going.
did give a nice little introduction, but a reminder, you got Chris and Michelle behind the camera,
Good.
the owners of the studio, and we're here now on
I'll
show
take a stem.
304.
Iris.
304 since 2020. You got Oliver, who's been working with us over 2 years now, and he's an absolute champion. He is a class coordinator as well as an assistant glass blower, slowly bleeding into making some of the products at the Glass Academy. He's going to get involved in pumpkin production this season, which is going to be really exciting, and he's doing a great job. And you got Bess over here, tech support, not a glass blower, but has learned a lot, and you did see her jump into the show
I
last
did.
week. And so
And I
she's got a lot
didn't
of
terribly
knowledge.
screw anything up.
Everything was beautiful. It was the perfect temperature, but she's tech support and she's watching for your guys' comments, and everything that you send to us will be monitored, so keep it PG, but
And who are
ask
you?
us some questions. My name's Jacob. I'm the son of these two folks and, you know, a major part of the Glass Academy. But
All
we
right.
do want crowd interaction. Yeah, go ahead.
So I did sculpt and try to get these hearts out of the optics on the surface of this wine glass I'm making, guys, but it looks to me like it just created a super cool pattern, and the overall heart design kind of disappeared, but that's all right because it's still a really unbelievable, and it's derived from a heart. Nope, Oliver, I'll be all right for a minute. Thank you.
Heart derived?
Yeah, this pattern is derived from a heart, which is super cool.
I wonder where that word comes from.
Derived?
To be derived.
You want to
When
know
you
where the
say
word
it like
derived
that, it
derives
makes it
from?
seem like it's like
It sounds weird.
I'd
Yeah.
be derived to the grocery store sometimes.
Exactly. So Chris went for the double bumper. I'm going to grab number 12 over here and show you guys what the single bumper looks like. Bess is on air.
So one of my goals for 2025 is for us to not drop off conversations and to see them through. So I'm bringing
Did I
back.
drop off something?
You did, but I'm going to bring it back, and it's okay.
Single bump.
So you
Not gonna
asked a
drop off
question
that.
earlier. Yeah, please don't drop that. You asked a question earlier. Who is the furthest person watching right now?
Please, let's go. Who do we got?
Hannah from Sweden looked it up and said it is Angel from Argentina.
It is what?
Argentina.
Argentina's further? What
Yep.
was the mileage?
Let's ask.
jeez, no.
I want to see numbers in the chat. I mean, can you
Show
guys
me the
Google the
data.
Glass Academy and see how far away you are?
That was-
If you're under 250 miles, you should come visit. And if you're over, there's no need. I won't say should, but it would be cool if you did
If you're
visit.
over-
250 miles still, like, come kick it.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be some type of discount for the distance that they come.
If
That
you could
the
prove it
further
with
the
bank
distance, the
stubs.
larger the thing.
Thanks, Stubbs.
Yeah, you know, 3 forms of identification that you live in that home that's 350 miles away.
That wouldn't work for me. My
And we'll
bank is
run
still in
them
New
through.
York.
Your bank is?
Yes.
Well, your check stub has it though.
Like
So
my
if you-
address?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
On
but
lightly.
my bank is still in New York. Is that
Well-
what you were talking about?
Well, but your bank
What, you're
knows where
pressing?
you live. You could
Sometimes.
show us a credit card, your
Letting
bank
me pull it
statement,
out.
and a
How
check
about
stub,
Just come visit.
and we'll give it to our
set you up.
accountant.
Okay, off.
Now, better than you coming to visit us if you live over 250 miles away is that we would love to stay with you, actually. So if you just open your homes to us all at the same time, the whole company, if you can host 25 people, we would love to come and visit you.
Yeah, we could go to Hawaii. Where do we want to go? New Zealand.
Argentina.
Jake, would you grab me the
Sweden.
footing tool?
Yes, I will grab you the footing tool, or Oliver will, and I will say to the people that it would be a lie if we didn't say we had the next 10 years of the Glass Academy planned out and making trips with the mobile unit and stopping at our most best amazing people and putting up a show in their town wasn't
For
a
a
potential
fee.
thought of the plan. Yeah, for a fee, that's right.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Is that the one?
I mean, I was using it in this bucket all week last week.
I just want to let you guys know that the table
probably
is
over here.
live. It is 6:30. So I'm going to go ahead and get that link in the comments for you.
This
But
is
all
the
of this
one.
beautiful drinkware is now available.
Oh, Merc water all the way up to Oliver's elbow.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be purple, Oliver.
My arm after that Merc water?
One coat, yep.
Nice one.
So it's nighttime here. It's not super reflective, but these glasses are amazing. But there are individual pictures on the
Those purple
website.
tumblers are out of control.
Yeah, they're all
Number
beautiful.
17, 12, and 10 are all our new patented color design, the Quick Como, which I'd like to, if we get a chance on this show, make one like that to show you what we're talking about, but you don't
Can you
see
spell
anything
that?
like that.
Do you have chalk? Can you write
Yes,
that
I
out?
can, of course.
Hannah says her mileage is 4,088.
Jeez, Hannah.
Argentina is 5,521.
Wow, you guys.
The internet's a beautiful thing.
Wow, thanks so much. We are thrilled you are here on the Gathering
when you
Point
are.
Show, where we go live every Tuesday night. Tell your friends, tell your family. Do not be shy.
This is a bummer of a piece of chalk, but
All right, so the patty is a small bit of glass, and then these two pieces of wood on a leather hinge
nice foot.
allow you to squeeze it thinner.
That's a good looking foot.
It's a good looking foot. And if you were here and had smell-o-vision, the smell of that burning wood is so good.
That was a good rhyme.
All right, we're halfway through this piece. Yes.
That's QWIK-Como TM.
Trademark, it's like a beverage.
Yeah.
I would like a quick Como, please.
Now we're really going to have to do one of those on the show. So here comes a really intricate and delicate process, particularly for Oliver, but both for Chris and Oliver. Chris has this double-balled stem, and it's long and it's tall. These are all pretty shorter, really functional pieces on the product table. Chris went for a more elegant, taller wine glass shape. So the importance of what Oliver's bringing over, the punty, and this connection that's going to break this piece off and allow Chris to open up the top of the glass. The shape and the size and the heat of this piece are super important. So here we go.
The members piece is now sold.
Members piece is gone. Congratulations to whomever got that one. And I just pulled up the computer here and I'm seeing a nice technical question. It was even prefaced with tech question.
We love that.
And this is Dave, our champion non-resident
Hey,
glass
Dave.
artist. Super awesome. What is the preferred method for paddling? Holding, nice break, you guys. Holding the paddle still while the gaffer moves and the piece against the paddle, or move the paddle with the piece to match the speed of the gaffer. And then under that, Laura says, where can we see what's available? And Beth
I just gave her the link, yep.
Gave her the Insta link right on the website under the Gathering Point
Yeah,
tab.
on the website on the top, there is a tab. It says The Gathering Point. You go to that tab and it will have a drop down. You pick items featured on the show.
So
Take you directly to that page.
I'll paddle the lip and you guys can watch the way I do this. I have my preferred method, but I'll let Chris, when he's done with this piece, explain his thoughts on the process as well.
I'm going to be putting some handles on here too, Oliver.
And it's even harder to do when you're doing this bottom little patty that was on the connection for the foot down low. And that was where, Oliver, I wasn't watching when you did it, but did you stay in one spot or did you ride back and forth with them?
I probably ride back and forth with them because to me it depends on the condition of the paddle.
Absolutely.
And that one I want to move with because the very flat spot is right by your hand, or at the very tip. So
A little more control back here too. But I'm a proponent of moving with the gaffer. You can predict, and it's just like anything else, you need to. When you're doing the punty and you're riding back and forth, or you're bringing over a bit, you need to have loose hands and predict what the glass gaffer is going to be doing. and aid them along the process, but take all the weight. I don't want to be having him worried about sliding off the paddle if he decides to do a third rotation one way or the other.
And I think some of it too
Paper thin.
is the gaffer's style. You learn
Yep.
real quick what the gaffer wants and doesn't want.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
Oliver.
every gaffer could be different.
We're taking a couple small pinky size handles here.
We got a paper thin top on this, purple and red, gold stem, purple foot, and Chris is only gonna have this as hot as he just needs to have it so it doesn't crack, because he's gonna be putting on some really intricate power handles. By handles, these are not functional handles. This is not for holding your espresso glass with. These are for decoration, elegance, and
Okay.
class.
All right, I have to say there are some of you out there. So not only do we have Loyalty League members, but we have special perks for different customers for different reasons. So if you haven't purchased from the Glass Academy before, we encourage you to check out the website. Take a look at all the things that you see on the webpage. One of our guests has received some chocolates that they're happily munching.
That's a great point.
And if you come for the Valentine's Day class, you get some chocolates too.
That's right. And everything we do is handmade, you guys. This is a family business, as I already spoke about, and
Yes.
we've got a ridiculous, incredible team. Tuesdays are more like our admin day, so we actually weren't even blowing glass today. Everyone was in the front office, and everyone's a part of everything that happens in the studio and wears many hats, and takes a lot to make this come together. And we ship a lot of glass, as many of you know. I mean, pretty much every piece that's made on the show each week is shipped out, as well as what's in the virtual gallery. We have Robin, our shipping champion and queen of the shipping zone, comes in twice a week and works a good, based on the situation, she'll work a good 8-hour shift just shipping products and sending it to the left and the right.
I mean, she's only the best at what she does.
What do we got over here, Bess?
I just want to show this off on camera because I thought this was only black and white in that light, but when you get up close, look at all of that fun.
Look at this purple sparkle super bling with the optic
Oh
twist
my
handle.
gosh, Bess, next to you, it looks amazing right now.
Got my Valentine's themed nails.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Right? Having a sip in that looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's a sweetie.
Super cool. But when these hit the light, it looks totally different.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
our boy
good. That
there.
one's sold already?
Just
Probably
found
do
a
a
home, but we've
reduction on
got
it.
some other amazing sparkle glass pieces up there.
Beautiful. Number 8's top
Good,
notch,
yeah, let's do
15
it.
and 16 super hitters, 17 is a top favorite of mine as well.
I'm gonna heat it up for a second.
All
a
right,
couple
so
heats.
now this is the heart action. Does he know which heart he wants?
Yeah, did you look at the colors? You want me to show you them? You know what you're going for. Just picking it on the fly.
I'm not ready though, because you have to take that back. I'm not hot, Oliver.
So using this torch right here heats one very specific area, so the heart
Okay,
can
Oliver.
be added.
However, this is such a thin product doing goblets like this, and I experienced it the other day when we were making these, and you're seeing it now, the top just slightly starting to bend down because of the heat that he's put on the stem. So the timing of this is ridiculous, and you got a perfect stick on there with the purple and red heart, or that's actually purple and gold. So that's gonna match this cup perfectly with that deep purple and the gold exterior. That went on super nice. This is pretty ridiculous. Let me just get up in here. Don't mind all that dirty floor behind this piece. We're working on it. Chris is giving it a little extra love just to kind of wet out the edges a little bit. I think it does look a lot cleaner where it doesn't look like a sharp, broken heart. It's more of a smooth and polished situation. You guys, this is the gathering point. Subscribe on YouTube, watch us on Facebook. That's right. When you straighten it up with these final touches, it's super important to remember how hot each specific tool on the bench here is. And when you go in with those jacks and tighten up an edge, going into the wrong spot with the wrong tool that's a little too cold will crack the piece, especially doing wine glasses like this that are paper thin.
All right, getting her back on center is looking pretty good. How about a little reduction?
Ready for it right now?
Sure. And that's only for the stem. The stem of this guy is
And the heart.
got a beautiful iridescence.
Dang.
That is a sexy looking piece, guys. Look at that.
I love those handles.
I'm gonna take probably one more flash.
Beth, could you give me a hand here?
Oliver, give me one more reduction, so I don't lose it.
Bess, could you give me a hand here?
Thank you, sir.
You might have to just pull the screen off.
You got a fork, Oliver?
Yes, I do.
Sorry for that darkness, folks. We had a little bit of a
Welcome back.
phone
Sometimes
explosion.
the camera will glitch, but here we are.
I didn't get a chance to hype up the importance of knocking that off and the timing of that. But it came off beautifully, especially with that delicate stem. They got the stamp right on the bottom, nice and smooth.
Very nice.
And that's going into the box. I'm not gonna run over there and show you guys. We'll get it on the next one, but it's 2,000. It's 1,000 degrees in the box, 2,000 in the furnace, and that was a beautiful piece. Really ridiculous. And we're gonna get some
Nice
final
work.
words from Chris on that one. Give it to
that
us.
thing turned out pretty darn sweet, guys. Oliver gave me some great bits. It was unbelievable. That thing was so thin and so fragile. The handles were beautiful you brought me. I love the fact that you didn't Marver them or do anything, Oliver. Nice and creamy and hot.
I was trying on that one. I want really nice handles on that piece.
Yeah, they turned out super nice. And I guess the only thing I can say, Dave, if you're listening when you're putting handles on, is always put on the second handle smaller than the first handle, because then you can extend it while it's hot and make it the right size so they
Cut
match.
it shorter, you mean?
Nah, you put it on just overall a little smaller. Same amount of glass, just don't stretch it out as much when you put it on, and then you can go back in if you need to and fill that out to match the other one. But
That
those,
makes sense.
I didn't really have to do that on that one because they turned out perfect, exactly the same. But generally, that's rule number one for when you're doing handles, is always put the second handle on a little smaller. But that's a tasty piece. It's going to be available for sale, guys.
And one other question following off Dave is, what was your answer to the paddle? Do you like it moving with the piece or staying as a stationary paddle?
I totally like it moving with the piece.
Okay.
I like it
Same
moving with
here.
the piece, and I like to always have it backed up with a hand with your fingers like this, because if you're holding it like this, you're not going to be doing this. If you're holding it like this, you're going to be going like this. This keeps it steady. So that's really important, Dave.
To see Dave's response to you about the whole paddle thing?
No, I did not.
So he said, thanks, Jake. I like to move the paddle with the piece too, but I was in a class this week and was told to hold the paddle still. More than one right answer, it sounds like.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal preference in glass blowing, and that's why, in particular, we just had this conversation with Tabea a little bit ago. I prefer to, and have done with the whole team here, we've built our glass blowers from the ground up, and we all have our personal preferences, and they're learning theirs as well. But here at the Glass Academy, we have the Glass Academy preference, and most of us blow glass in a very similar way. You bounce from shop to shop or state to state, especially country to country, and it's going to look completely different. I'm going to draw up this piece. You want to pop the LED on?
Oliver's going to look at Chris, and he's going to go over a
bling.
couple of the items left.
All right. So a few of them are gone, it looks like to me. It looks to me like there's a few of them gone, guys, but they are some tasty ones up here. And I can tell you the ones I think, but first off, I love this one right here with this gorgeous copper ruby. It's got a beautiful heart there in the center, very nice. This is probably something that I would think would be like used as a wine glass. I mean, personally, I think that if Jake or Oliver were mixing up a gin and tonic in here, it'd be too small for them after a couple cubes. But I think maybe a port or a nice white wine would be pretty tasty, a Chardonnay. What do you think, Oliver?
You're totally right. You really got me in that one. I think really.
Those guys wouldn't even mix a drink that small. But these are gorgeous. And some of these pieces that Jake's been trying, these, what are they called again? There's something Calmos?
Quick Como.
The Quick Calmos.
Trademark.
But I really like the idea of the Quick Calmo on these two particular pieces, number 10 and 12. It's a new technique that Jake's come up with. And the cool thing about it is that you have your color on the surface of the whole thing, but when you take a gather over the bottom of the vessel, it wets it out and gives it a gorgeous optical effect, as you can see in there with the lap gather line right here. Two different names, lap gather or post gathering is what that's called in a historical American glass blowing techniques. They did a lot of that when they were doing bottles and jugs, where they had a long cylinder, then they would go in and gather right on the end up close to the neck, but it would allow them to get a bigger mass of glass without losing control of the piece when they were doing production jugs, production bottles, and things like that. Some of these guys, the Valentine's Day mugs, check these out.
These mugs are wild.
Yeah,
the
dichro going crazy, the sparkly glass, and then right on the handles we got the signature heart for the Valentine's limited edition line. Of course, the GA stamp, but these things are looking tasty. This is like almost like a root beer, transparent root beer color. It kind of matches the sconce up there. Look at that.
I absolutely love that color.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous color. And then this guy, even though it doesn't have a heart on it, number 2.
That's my favorite mug I've seen in quite a while.
That thing is pimping.
It's a power green.
Look at
I love that. The sparkle in there,
glass.
easily my favorite.
And then he's got the electric lime on there with this beautiful wetted out dragon back. So if you did have like a sore wrist like me, sometimes you could just do a massage. See that, you guys, how that works?
So
Work
important.
that carpal tunnel.
That's
right out.
right, that's right. But that is comfortable with a little stinger on it. That's a gorgeous looking dichro number 2.
Are those all colors
Yeah.
in the back?
I think that's what he said earlier. But yeah, that too, like I just took a video of that in the light because the sparkle in that is amazing. I mean, all of them, but 2 is by far my favorite mug I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to mention is that 13 and 14 are individually priced, but they're a set. Those are a set. There's 2 glasses depending on what you're looking to have at the time of you having a drink. And then you got 15 and 16 are a matching set as well with the same beautiful gold on the top, metallic gold with the perps. And then, and then 17's kind of a gorgeous looking loner all on her own. Look at that hourglass figure. She is a tasty little treat. And now it's time to turn around.
It is.
Take a look around.
We're getting started, folks. I got a drawing on the floor. I've got a clear bubble here. And I got Michelle joining in for this first portion of the piece, bringing over a transparent purple bit for the bottom here. Will you do one more coat on there? It's a very light color, but it's a very thin grain color, thus making it light. So the more coats, the more full the color coatage will be, similar to how those bar color pieces look. Nice slim bubble. We're gonna let that get real stiff.
How are you taking this?
Right over the top. As soon as you're ripping hot.
You feeling real confident about the quick promo method now? You've done it like quite a bit in the last couple of days.
I am, and this is very similar to the style of the Quick Como, but this will not be the Quick Como. This is going to be the Mezzo Stampo. that Oliver and I struggled through, even went into lunchtime, because it took us 3 attempts to make this successful piece the other day. But we did complete that successful piece, and this is the way it goes down. And I gotta move fast, I apologize, it's a very difficult technique, but here down on the floor, after I go in this mold, you'll be able to see the pattern that I'm talking about. I'm gonna go into this mold.
Nice.
Yeah, that,
Hit the bottom.
yes.
Nice.
It worked.
On one.
It was tough the other day. I was at my wit's end, and then Oliver was like,
Let's do one more, dude.
dude, I don't mind if we take 10 minutes into lunch and just do one more real quick. And we did it, and it was one of the nicest glasses to come together in a long time.
The last one of the shift's always the nicest one.
And if it's not, it sucks.
Yeah, yeah, that's super true.
Leaving the
That's super
shift
true.
and just being like, man. But it did turn out great.
Is there a giveaway question? I didn't see it in the email. Yes, there is. So our giveaway question for this week is guess how long it takes for a hand-blown glass piece to cool down before it's safe to touch. So you're going to send your best guess to enews@glassacademy.com. And at the end of the show, we're going to make a giveaway piece that you can win with your answer.
As we do this, I know we've showed this technique a couple times on the show, and we've only gotten more successful with it, but those glass blowers out there and anyone else who's interested watching the show, please bring the technical questions. Let's divulge into this process.
Well,
Yeah, even if you're watching on replay.
as you focus on this a little bit, I can talk about it a little bit just to make sure I'm understanding it right.
Absolutely.
And then you can raise the red flag if I say something incorrect.
That sounds great.
So right now we're watching Jake take a lot of reheats on this piece, and he's going through and he's retouching up the ribs, the vertical lines on the piece with the tweezers. And what he's doing there is not only resharpening them, he's also cooling them down quite a bit. And that is giving him the ability to go back and take these reheats. He's actually trying to build back up core temperature into the glass.
Oh, we got
But
it.
if he just did that all in one move or in multiple heats without cooling down those ribs he put on there and resharpening them, they would melt right back into the surface, and you'd lose all the definition you put into it in the first place.
Because it's being heated from the outside in. It's not
But
like the furnace where the core heat's there.
Yeah, and we're trying to cool down the outside on the tips while we build up heat on the inside.
Oh,
Is that pretty accurate to what you're doing?
Absolutely, it's exactly accurate. And this is paper thin too, trying to push the limits here a little bit. In fact, it's so thin, I'm gonna do this. Blow. Blow hard. Stop. It was so thin, I was a little nervous about that bottom bubble there, so I'm gonna thicken it up by putting the cold shears there, not allowing that area to blow out while the rest of the body blows out thinner. It's gonna be a beautiful light hue of purple on just those ribs on the bottom, and then the top's gonna be crystal clear coming on out. Blow, light.
Mention that the
Beautiful.
first piece made, so not the members piece, the first piece for the public is now available on the website. I'll get that link over in the comments. So that was a pretty sweet piece, so good luck, fast fingers.
Blow. Stop.
No way.
Got rid of it down there. Gonna touch this up, and we're gonna go for the stem.
Purple, clear, gold, what you thinking? Yellow? Bright yellow?
Yeah, bright
Super
yellow, my favorite. Will you blow? Stop. It's not gonna be yellow, that's for sure. Let's go with gold. You got it.
We had a question or two about our heart classes coming up in the chat, so I did just put the link to the sign up and the info for the heart classes in the comments.
Beautiful. I'm learning every time. The last one I made, the very top of the mezzostampo was really tight. I was focusing with the tweezers on that, the connection to the clear. This time I focused more on the flat ribs coming down, so these are really defined right there, where that's a little less defined. Pretty cool.
For the record, the mezzostampo is one of the toughest goblet tops to do. And at some point, you want to try to do some of the low bowl mezzostampos, Jake. Those are like a lot of fun. They're cool.
It sounds really difficult. That bowl shape's already difficult, and then to have your thickness all separated out like that sounds like a nice challenge.
So dropping a hot stem, just like I did on that last one, it's pretty tough to get it on center, but this is the important part right now, making sure that you get a nice even pressure with your arm while you're making that into the stem. Look at that. He's doing a pretty darn tight job with that.
And I've really come to love the challenge right here.
Getting in there.
Getting in there and getting that bottom ball small enough that it doesn't impede the classiness of the foot. If it's a really thick platform, it's really hard to squeeze that foot down real thin and match the delicacy of caviar.
We got any questions?
We sure do. That's
Good
why my
spot,
light's
Joe.
on.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I'm gonna take one
So
more
we
eat.
had a question from Connie on YT. She said, and each one of you will individually answer it.
Understood.
So she says, what style of glass blowing do you individually prefer, like making it up on the
Yep.
fly versus pre-designed?
Squish harder.
Well, since these guys
Lighten
are hot at hand
That's good.
working, I'm going to answer that question first. I like them both. I like offhand glass blowing, which is when you don't have something in mind and you're just going to town on it. That's a lot of fun, but the challenge, and I've been to a lot of hot shops and a lot of workshops where there are a lot of glass blowers that have a really hard time drawing and making what they draw. And that's something that I've always prided myself on personally, that I can draw and make it exactly like I drew it. Oliver and Jake are going to answer that question on their own a little bit. So what do you think, Jake?
The difference in preference between freehanding a piece versus saying what you're going to make and making it.
And
Yes.
drawing it out and making exactly what you draw.
Yeah, I think part of it comes from what you were just saying, the display of talent of being able to say, this is exactly what I'm about to make.
There's a
And
spider.
Bess has got a spider on her. You guys, she was making all kinds of noise over there.
There's a spider.
Better watch out, everybody.
I can come to the rescue.
It's right by the cleaning cloth, like between the cleaning cloth
Is this
and the
the one?
computer. I don't
I'll
do
take
spiders.
care of
Yeah.
it, folks.
Let's do it.
There. Now it's under, I flicked it after taking care of this business. I flicked it underneath the feature table. But it
Thank
will
you.
not be crawling around.
I appreciate it.
Oh, the footing tool here, folks. Look at that.
Because this is so thin, I'm going to skip the paddle and get a quick save your heat on here.
I'm going to finish that comment.
What?
What comment?
My comment?
No, I'm going to add mine while you're thinking.
All right,
not
beautiful.
distracting.
Yep.
So for me, I sketch things out and I think about them and I do more prototyping.
That's good. Ooh,
so
that's
for
tight.
me, I like to sketch it out before I make it.
I like
Beautiful.
that.
We're going to put the Marini on now, remember?
Good way to do it.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, I was on spider duty there for a second, so I didn't hear if Oliver spoke up
I didn't-
about his question.
I had not yet. I'm ready when you are. All right, I'll bring it over. I like both sides, and it just depends on what sort of mood I am in for the day. Like, I like doing the shoot from the seat of your pants, like the R&D design phase of a product, when I'm in a very talkative mood and like I can goof around a little bit more, and there's less like pressure to hit a specific spec because you're playing with the glass in that stage, and that's like really fun. But then I do have the streak of me of the craftsman where like I want to make the same things over and over and over again. I want them all to be identical. I want that perfection.
Yeah.
And that's like when I want to focus and really show off like the skills that I've been working on. So I probably hit the craftsmanship side more often than the R&D side, but like you guys will see with the creatures that are coming out, like the type of mood I get in when we start doing stuff like that.
I like it. Well, that's all the answers there.
What about Bess?
Maybe a
What do
paddle?
you
want a
like
paddle?
to hear us talk about more?
That's a great question, Oliver. Thank you for putting me on the spot. I like when you guys have a plan because I like watching you draw it out, but I also like those moments where you guys stray from that because I like to see how your minds work. And everybody goes in a little bit different direction.
Yeah. I kind of like the telethon type stuff where we pass it around and the piece develops into something different. We used to do it where we would take, when we would go out of town with a bunch of people on trips, we would pass around a roll of paper and you would draw on it and keep rolling it up as the week or weekend went on so that it just evolved through a whole bunch of drawings and you had this long picture, which is kind of like you'd do with a piece of glass when you're making the glass. And if Jake started it and then I grabbed it and Oliver grabbed it and then Michelle grabbed it, it would be sweet. And we've done stuff like that, but I think like really pushing that and making it a performance would be super cool.
I can just see like a big like stadium, like what do they call that, like jumbotron that's just got like 45 seconds on the clock and it's gonna buzz around and you have to pass the pipe right there.
Yeah.
We should do that. That'd be a cool show.
That'd be fun.
We've got another question. Jamie asks, are all Marvers the same?
Are all Marvers created equal?
I can answer that. I don't know about the creation process, but all Marvers are not the same, and you can't just go and buy something from the Marver store. Pretty much, especially when you start out as a glass blower, you take whatever you can get as a Marver. I mean, you got a piece of 1/2-inch plate that's in the back corner of your barn, you're using it as a Marver. You clean it up, but having a flat Marver is really nice. We were using just about anything to Marver on when we first started out our glass blowing careers back in the late 80s and the early 90s. But eventually you have a Marver that is about 1 inch thick, is a nice thick Marver because the heat doesn't warp the flatness of it. So all the Marvers that we have here are 1 inch thick. And to keep them clean, it's very important to make sure you're clean. I just found a really cool tool that Jacob's been using on the Marvers. That's a surface polisher that really does a nice job keeping the Marver tops clean. But before you can even use a surface polisher, you have to send them out to a milling company and have them milled down to a surface grade that's called a Madison finish. And you have both sides done so you can flip them when you use them over a period of time, and then you can have them resurfaced again if they get damaged. There's a little Marver info for you
Yeah,
guys.
that's good information.
Now, genuine question for me now, I could see like if you gave me the task, Oliver, damage this Marver, I could damage this Marver. But outside of like our normal glass blowing, like Marvering, doing glass work, is there normal day-to-day operations that would actually put wear and tear into the Marver? Like that doesn't seem like.
Well, I mean, I know some people who are fanatics and some people who aren't fanatics, and I knew people who didn't want their Marver being heated up to a temperature that was warm to the touch because it would burn out the precious oils in the surface of the steel and allow the steel to, when it condensated, rust.
To like rust and patina and
You
stuff.
know, but I mean,
Okay.
a lot of times different things happen. A good example would be like if somebody was like, oh, you know, I've been living in Dearborn for this long, but I'm going to move my glass shop and I'm going to store everything in my pole barn, and then 4 years later I take it out and it's completely crusty and pitted.
Yeah.
That's a tasty looking glass, Jake.
That's awesome.
It's freaking sick.
And
Right on.
I do love the encalmo being in that beautiful perps.
I know.
And then the foot being in the perps and having the clear crystal up top. That's
Little
just
gold in the middle.
That's such a comfortable looking.
It's so classy, and this is the perfect size and shape for a daily driver. You could drink wine out of it. You could put a mixed drink in there. You could drink water out of it if you were feeling classy, but I just think it's perfectly proportionate and ready to ride.
How much better do you think that would make your daily water taste?
I've drank out of one in the past week or so, and I'm very hydrated.
I think it has a lot to do with a vitamin glass. When you're taking your vitamins in the morning,
This is no vitamin glass.
I think it is. I'd love it.
To hold the water, not the vitamins.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of vitamins.
If you fill that glass with vitamins, you don't need to take any more for the year.
I do like the fact that it's a little bit on the shorter side,
Yeah.
and it's a little more
Let's hit it one more.
casual. If you're cooking pasta,
Yeah.
if you're just at home and you're having a date, or your significant other and you are just chilling in the kitchen, relaxing, you don't have something like the one that I have that I made before this that was about 2.5 inches taller, which is still a gorgeous looking glass, but this one here is pretty nice.
What you're saying is that smaller is baller.
Ooh, Oliver.
That
Now-
one comes
now, I'm
courtesy
gonna-
of our Matt
Will
Hanna.
someone torch that for me?
Yep, I'm going to speak up real quick and just say this one is going to be for sale, because I have seen a little bit of a pattern here with Jake lately, folks, where he's been making so many unbelievable glasses that he is like, I think I might just take this one for my own.
What?
So we're not going to let him do that.
That's Jake's usual
That one's
thing.
going to be for sale. That last one I made is for sale, and it
is
was already
tight.
online, right, Beth?
It is still online and still available.
Nice. And this is a nice little heart on the floor here that
Nice
I just
work,
tripped
Oliver.
over.
tight,
That
dude.
was sick.
But I actually just kicked it, and it went right back into where it was.
See the little heart I put there?
I was about to do the hacky sack move and catch it over the shoulder.
You think you can do it?
Yep.
No way.
No way.
Let's see, folks. And if he can, I'll do it with my clogs on.
Oh, came off the ground though.
We
Oh.
can.
Oh! He got it like 2 feet off the ground.
It hit me
Clogging
in
it.
the eye. I need this for housekeeping though.
You want to talk about the check then?
I'll
All
grab
right,
the check.
so for housekeeping, I have 2 things to give away. But before we do that, let's talk about our big check. I like the big check. So if you guys remember, for our signature candy cane and signature ornaments, we donate a portion of those proceeds to Forgotten Harvest. So we have our giant check behind me. It was a total of $338. It's going to go to them.
That's the signature candy cane sales and the signature ornament sales. $2 from every sale.
Plus, we also donated the food from the food drive we did.
That's in my garage, and now I have the check in hand, so I'm going to do the combo and go take it
There
to
you
Forgotten
go.
Harvest and see what they're all about.
Very cool. I have 2 giveaways for this week. One is our monthly $100 gift certificate, and one is our... What is it this week? What is it this week? The Mushroom House, which is neither of these 2 items. It was the one that looks like the yurt.
I'll go grab it.
Chris will go get that. So I will start with the gift card. Our gift card goes to Michelle O'Grady. So congratulations, Michelle. You're going to receive an email from Donna. Keep an eye on your email. And you are going to receive your gift card code. That is good for product or for classes if you're local, or if you want to come in if you're not local. While we're waiting on the yurt, you want to talk about this?
Yurt time?
Yes.
Not yurt time. This, you mean?
Yeah, because Chris is going to the office to get the giveaway.
If you guys are a member, and we're going to be closing it up soon to get these plaques, or maybe not, I don't know. But
Last year at the fundraiser.
This was last year at the fundraiser, plus all of our current subscribed members have a plaque with their name on their account that has been made and printed by laser cut by Bess. Is that what it is? Laser cut?
No, just a diamond tip
Diamond tip
engraver.
etcher.
Close enough, though.
And we're gonna post them all along the wall in our Michigan room. So we appreciate everybody's support in streaming, in the build out of our new addition to the Glass Academy, and everything that we do supporting local handmade work and family businesses. It's super tight, and we've got a bunch of these that are gonna be represented, and you guys will go down in history.
So if you want your name on a plaque in the Michigan room, you still have time. I'll put the Star Supporter link in the comments right now. I believe Loyalty League is closed right now, but keep an eye on when that reopens. Usually opens up every couple of months, but Star Supporter is always open. And then if you sign up for that, it's still time to get your name on a plaque. Chris,
Your time.
thank you. We've got our cute little, Donna called it a mushroom house. I know the guys were calling it a
I'm gonna
yurt
snap
last
a
week.
picture of that
Well,
right now.
it was a yurt that I made.
Reminds me of Hagrid's hut from Harry Potter.
Yeah, that is.
Doesn't it?
Bass, we're on the same page. All right.
What is it supposed to look like?
Hagrid's
Give it a
house from
turn.
Harry Potter a little bit. It's got like, just looks like it belongs out in a pumpkin patch.
It does.
Ah,
It needs some pumpkins around it. Our question for last week was, what's one thing you always take with you to make a new place feel like home? Someone said, I haven't moved in 35 years, so I'd say I'd take everything. That's fair. Some people said, my family. One person said, my gorgeous wife. Home is definitely not home without her. A lot of people said pictures or family photos. Someone said, my computer. Someone said, our furry child, Toby. Very nice, it's fair. Someone said my slippers, like Jake did last week. This is a cool one. I like this one. It says, my dad was a musician. He started playing guitar when he was 9. We lost him just over 20 years ago, but I have one of his guitar picks. I keep it in my phone case so that I always have a little piece of him with me.
That's cool.
I like that one. Our winner said, I have not moved that much. The one thing that makes a place feel like home is my guy, Pete. So, congratulations to another Michelle.
Is that Michelle's lover or her dog or her cat?
It's her guy. Whoever
Pete.
that might be, Pete.
Pete the champion.
So, Michelle, keep an eye on your email. You're going to receive an email on how to redeem this. If you're local, you can come by and pick it up, or you can pay for shipping and have this sent out to you. So, congratulations.
Bigliotti. Congratulations, Michelle.
May I jump in for 1 second here? I can
As
take
Chris
this.
gets started, I'll assist if you want to.
I'm gonna make it happen
Hold
here.
it
Listen,
down.
we just had a lot of great news go out to all of our wonderful viewers and customers and supporters of the arts. And if you're watching on Facebook, we love you. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm about to get after you real quick here, okay? Because I got beef with some of you YouTube watchers. I'm looking at the stream right now. You see me at the computer. There's 45 of you watching, and there's 2 likes on the video, and I'm one of the 2 likes. So get in there and hit that like button a couple times, and maybe there'll be 46 of you by the time you're done. We'd appreciate it. For real, guys, liking, commenting, all that stuff means the world to us. It does help the algorithm pick up what we're doing and get more exposure to more people, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to spread our craft and our art all over the world.
And it's a free way of supporting us. You
It's
don't even have to
totally
buy
free
anything.
way to support.
Use your fingies.
This
All
is
right.
true. Thank you, Michelle. It is also free to subscribe, and you can hit that bell notification and be alerted when we go live or when we post new videos to the YouTube channel.
Going in this.
Yep.
12-pointer super mold. Beautiful item. Been around a long time.
So Lucille has a question.
Beautiful.
She says, hold on, it scrolled on me. Hi, I have a question. How many pieces do you make in a day to get ready for the show, or are you only making pieces during the show?
That's a really great question. It depends on the show. We're now planning shows 2 weeks ahead. It's taken us 305 shows to get to that point, but these 18 items, 19 items that are on the show tonight that I want to go hand highlight a couple more so you guys get up close and personal with them, are only going to be available for this week up until next week's show. And that show has been prepped for about 2 weeks now. Since we started talking about it, there were multiple shifts of different designs of product, and that wasn't all of them. Those were the top ones that we wanted to highlight for our online audience and to have that shipped out. Yeah, I mean, we have 4 glass blowers. I'm being the main glass blower here right now. Chris comes in for specialty projects. Oliver and Matt now is making more products and building his ability up the ranks, which is a beautiful thing now that we have Tabea, because we can have 2 benches running at once.
Shout out Tabea.
Shout out Tabea. Oliver's been here 2 years. I spoke a little bit about his ability coming up and making some products.
Hello?
And then Tabea is fresh off the streets, and we've got her learning right from the ground up. She's doing an incredible job, but she won't be making product for probably at least another year or so. But we don't blow glass every day either. I mean, ideally we do most days, but we're trying to be very intentional about what we're making and having a plan for it and doing it in season and prepping for our busier season, more towards gift season later in the year.
I mean, we want to blow glass every day, but we also need to read our emails.
Yeah. Hot oleo. And we're gonna put a blown stem on it, Jake. So this is going to be a little bit of a different style stem. Jake's going to bring me a hot blown stem flip. Oliver's going to be paddling for me.
You gonna take a heat before you're ready to paddle?
Nope. Paddle.
So he's going for the traditional Volio. He's not building the stem off of this right now.
Good.
This is a platform for what will become the stem, and he mentioned that he wanted a blown stem. So I'm going to take a little tiny bit of glass with any specific color.
Iris.
With a gold layer on top. And I'm going to blow a bubble into it and then pass it off to Chris and let him shape it up. My role in this is to get the bubble in there as even as possible, have the color as even as possible, and then bring this thing over with as much heat in a controllable way as possible. And it takes a lot of teamwork to do a stem like this.
So I'm just going to do a traditional kind of amphora style.
You want it a little thicker on the bottom or just nice
stem.
and even?
You just puff her out and I'll take care of that when you bring her over to me. But yeah, not right through the bottom like a normal blown handle. There she is, nice.
Beautiful shape here, straight ribs. Just like the Mezzo Stampo I was just doing, keeping ribs straight like this on the entire piece is a really difficult move. Because you're turning the pipe the entire time, and so unless you turn literally the exact same amount and have equal amounts of pressure when you're doing things in both directions, then there's going to be a twist. And oftentimes that twist looks really cool, but that's just a little insider information for you all.
While this is being dropped on, want to say thank you to all our YouTube viewers. We went from 2 likes to 23.
Good.
That's what I'm talking about.
That means a lot. Tabea in there commenting how she feels attacked as a YouTube watcher, and you're not being attacked. You're just being thoroughly encouraged. Is all that's happening there.
Who said that, Tabea?
Yeah.
You've yelled at Tabea a lot this week for YouTube. You yelled at her because she was in here on her day off. You just
Tabea
can't catch
did
a
come
break.
by the studio on her day off, and I was like, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm showing my mom around."
Just so
They're
you guys
having a
know,
good
I
time.
did just make a quick little reel. You can see it on our page of those sparkle glass mugs in the light.
Oh, that's tight.
So I did a couple of them just so you guys can see them. But that reel's live. Link is in the comments there or here on our live video.
That's why you're talking. Ask what they want to see on social. Talk about what they want to see.
So Michelle wants me to ask you guys a question. Is there anything you want to see on our social media? And that could be our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok. But what content do you want to see? We're working on creating a social calendar moving forward, highlighting different events, highlighting things that are coming up. We already do a great job with our social media, but we want to be a lot more hands-on with it. So if there's any kind of content that we're not doing that you want to see, please let us know.
It could be glass related, or it could be any other social media you've seen that you like the style of, or behind the scenes shots or glamour shots of the glass. You know, whatever you think of, put it in the comments. Bess is going to watch. We've also got that Mezzo Stampo piece coming up in a second. So stay tuned for that. And there's a lot going on.
Can I ask a technical question?
I suppose.
Beth said it's all right.
It's all right. Cool. So this is a blown stem that's completely sealed, and that's totally fine. We're not gonna tungsten pick it, poke a hole in anything like that. It's just gonna be a sealed bubble.
Right.
It's the same idea with our blown handles for mugs. But in some situations, like I know, if Chris was gonna fold the lip back on itself, he'd be very careful, because if that's not done correctly, air can get trapped and it can cause a crack in the lip of a glass. Or last week during the experimental show, Chris, you tungsten picked some holes in the house that you made.
Push. You can keep talking, Oliver.
And I'm confused about...
Good. Jake Avolio.
He had done that for, the original idea was to pull those and open them up into windows.
Yeah.
Which is
Got
how he
it,
opened
okay.
up the mouth, too. It wasn't about pressure, that was about design.
Well, I guess there have been scenarios where I've seen us poke holes in things to give like a relief hole. And
Yeah,
I'm just questioning like why we do it in some situations and not all situations.
It all depends on the consistency of the thickness of the mass of glass.
Technical description while you put the Evolio on.
Yeah. Sorry, Michelle, I didn't mean to walk in front of you like that.
Look at this.
On. Push hard.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I just wanted to let you guys know that that piece we just finished up that Jake took the lead on is available online now. The piece earlier that Chris was in charge of is also still available. So it's 2 amazing pieces that are available for you guys to purchase. I will put that link in the comments once again for you. I like this light.
Jacob, you want to blow me a purple foot?
Would love to.
Straight optic.
Oliver, would you pull out the 12-pointer pumpkin stem mold?
The brass one or the smaller one?
No, the 12-pointer, it's the smaller one.
Left side, yep. You got it.
So it depends on the
Behind ya.
thickness of the material and how consistent it is.
Yeah, because when you have a pumpkin, you got thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. You
Yeah.
know, if you blow it too thin, but stems like this are just like a perfectly round orb with a bubble inside of it. It wouldn't want to crack because it can handle the stress of the expansion and contraction of the air in there. But if you've got a thin
There's
side
not a
on
weak
it,
point in it.
yes.
Okay. I can see that. Okay.
So Annette says, I loved the video released on YouTube today.
I did too.
So this was a members only video that was released. And was that Loyalty League only? It was a video that Roland and Michelle worked on together, and they did an About Us piece. It will open up next week to the general public, but for now it is members only. So you guys can look forward to that. If you're a member, go ahead and check that out on our YouTube page. Everybody else, keep your heads up about a week later. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us if you like it, if you don't like it, what you want to see more of. Jake's piece is sold, so just Chris's piece is available.
So this is a hollow foot, different than the footing tool, guys, which is a real fun one to do. Blow. Good.
Oh, baby. It's about as elegant
take
as it
that.
gets right there,
Yeah.
folks. It's just real classy, real smooth.
I heard how
It's-
silent that cut was.
It was hot enough and nice. Michelle's saying, why was it classy and smooth? And in my opinion, it's because I've learned glass blowing from my dad. We blow glass exactly the same. That goes back to exactly what I was talking about with us teaching Oliver and Matt Tabea from the ground up. We're all exactly on the same page about how we want to do things. And we both knew what we wanted and what Chris wanted in this instance, and it just came out smooth like butter. And it doesn't mean it's always perfect, because glass is a super difficult material to work with. But yeah, to bring it back to the literal point as to why that was smooth and it cut like butter was because we were working it with such an efficiency that it was hot enough, but it was right at the edge of being too hot and uncontrollable, but hot enough that by the time he got it lined up and we puffed it, it was still plenty hot to make that snip. And then sit down and neck the end of it and pop that little ball off. So now he's got an opening in the bottom.
Nope, I don't need you there yet.
This is very technical glass blowing.
God, that's such a small opening.
Yeah.
That's why you need the skinny jacks, diamond cup jacks, or diamond
I'm loving the shape of this.
I know.
goblets.
Do you, on that note, like, it's very easy for me to tell that you learned glass blowing from Chris, how well you two work together, but do you find it difficult with how, like, most production days, you are the gaffer, you're the main gaffer. Do you find it hard to just real quick sub in on an assistant role? Like, is that weird for you at all?
No, it's kind of nice. It's fun sometimes. I mean, it's different when I'm working with you guys and I'm teaching Matt, and it's kind of like I want to,
Not yet.
you know, guide the process a little bit more. But when I'm just understanding that whatever Chris wants in this instance, I know what he wants when he says it the first moment, and then just bringing it, it's nice to just step back and relax a little bit and do it. Yeah, I did that in Pittsburgh, and it was, that's the difference of what I was explaining about teaching somebody the way that I blow glass versus working with somebody else. And that's a lot more, you know, collaboration versus...
I feel like that's an unspoken challenge in something like Blown Away.
It absolutely is. I mean, in Blown Away, they get down to the final episode and they get 5 amazing glass artists, but glass artists they've never worked with. That's a challenge in itself. But the better you get as a glass artist, the easier you're able to adjust with no ego involved. If you are that type of person, you can adjust your capabilities to what the gaffer wants. It gets difficult in the middle zone, I've found, where people are still learning how to blow glass, or they're getting to the point where they're being recognized for their capabilities, but they don't want to necessarily change the way that they're blowing glass to
Or
adjust for somebody else.
when they're learning and they're just like, they're not doing a good job and they blame the assistant.
Yep. See that as well. That's definitely something that doesn't really get you anywhere. Yeah, it's not really.
Never the assistant's fault unless it's the assistant's fault.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not nervous at all.
Oh, I know.
So I'm really going back and forth and flashing this thing a lot because it is really thin, guys. So different than other pieces, when you're doing the Venetian style of blowing glass and you're blowing thin, you got to take flashes more often because you lose your core heat real quickly.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier on the show, and this is another delicate one and very, very powerful, intentional, incredible design that Chris is doing here. This is a big moment for Oliver as the assistant and for Chris as the gaffer, getting this on center, making sure that the connection's just right so that he's got enough heat to hold on to it, but just touch the connection on the top to break it off. And then when we get to the very end, tapping the pipe and having it pop off on that punty connection that Oliver brought over is pretty much, you know, the way it goes. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with that, but 2 years of doing punties and understanding, and I mean, within 2 years being forced into making goblets with us on the show during a live stream and just pretty much getting thrown into the flames, like all the way into the flames. He's got to
Literally.
figure it out. Yeah.
So this particular shape is going to be a traditional Venetian shape where I'm going to open the top up, and then I'm going to give it a really beautiful bell of a horn shape to it, so that, and it's got a scalloped edge up on the lip.
You say bell of a horn?
Yeah. The bell of a horn.
The bell of
Yeah.
a horn shape. What a classic.
Everyone knows what the horn bells are.
Uh-oh, the on-air sign just came on. Watch out.
Oh no. There are a couple questions.
Okay.
I will read them. I'll read one, let you guys answer it, and then let me know when you're ready for the next.
All right, before you get into it, Sarah's going to give away. Oh, I thought you were looking at them.
What are you doing? Oh, I don't know.
Sarah
Who said
did
you
the
were-
table today, folks. Sarah is joining us in many different roles at the Glass Academy. She's a champion, came all the way from Vermont. And she's here now, and you guys will be seeing more of her, but take it away.
Absolutely. So Annette's question is Venetian glass Chris's favorite style to make?
Is Venetian glass Chris's favorite style to make?
Just take a look at that goblet, folks.
Just last week, Chris was telling me how much he can't stand Venetian glass.
Now that we got that answer figured out, what's the second
Great.
one?
Next one's from John. John says, is it more forgiving to blow the thin stuff in the summer, or is the shop warm enough to
We're
not
hard
be
on
too
this.
big of a deal?
I think that it's warm enough to not make too much of a deal. But it's really important, even though, I mean, the temperature does change. We had
give me
some
1
pipe burst
second.
last year, so we've been a little less frugal with our super expensive heaters here in the studio. But what really makes a difference doing Venetian work is to make it thinner glass is your hole has to be up to temperature. You got to have your heat exactly how you want it. I really enjoy making glass out of that medium hole on the other side of the shop with a smaller opening and a even hotter burner. But having your tools correct, having your torch dialed in, and having the hole up to temperature, if not as hot as you can get it, is what allows me to feel confident about that stuff.
Bring it, Oliver.
Here comes the heart. That is the theme of the show. He's hitting it hot. And he's got to remember, what's that?
Where's the goblet?
It's heating up over there. He's got to remember something.
About putting on these hearts.
Yeah.
Yep, you'll get it back, Jake. Don't worry.
Oh, he's got to remember where the hot spot is there. And he heated it up a little bit more than I did. And you could actually see, because of the gold, where that little hot patty zone was. But in the clear stemmed ones, which we still have 3 on the table over there that I'm going to have to show off in a second, you can't see where the hot spot is. So I'm looking for something on the piece to remember where that exact zone is. And if you hit it in the wrong spot, then it's bad news. Michelle's doing her favorite move, saying you should just chalk the pipe.
Just do it that way.
I don't like chalking the pipe because it just looks bad. There's just chalk all over our pipes, and I'm trying to, tighten it up.
I mean, you're saying the same thing, though, Jake. You're just mentally chalking it.
I'm mentally chalking it and hoping for the best. And somehow there were no major issues yet, so I'm going to stick with it until something happens.
Although
That
I
is a
remember when we
ridiculous
were
piece.
making a round of them, I did comment, I was like, dang, you really have to pay attention to where you're heating those up because you lose like the glow of the heat.
Completely.
Right here when we're working, we got the lights on, but it's dark outside. You see a lot more glow of the glass, but when it's 1:30 in the afternoon and the sun's shining in, you don't get to see the glow of the glass.
And the sun shining on glass makes it look completely different. You have to work completely different. It's working at the Ren Fair and everywhere. I'm going to just quit what I was
Going
saying.
for some
'cause look at
reduction.
that. That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll put it up for sale.
That's a really nice piece. A little iridescence in the stem. It's turning out to be a pretty classy show.
We're going to go one more. Get a little more of that blingy on there.
Jake,
I see some sort of weird activity happening in the background. I see the on-air light flicking on and off.
That was actually Hannah's suggestion. She said I needed a blinking light sometimes to get your attention.
Just don't catch
so
it on
thank
fire.
you, Hannah, because that totally worked.
But hold on, we're gonna have to see the knockoff if you could talk
Totally
as
fine.
the knockoff
Absolutely.
happens. This is a big moment. You're gonna stamp the bottom of it?
Sure.
Yeah, baby.
Talk about what the fork is and why that's different too.
Yep.
Our metal fork.
Got it. So the metal fork's heated up just enough that you can pick it up by the foot because the foot is so fragile. You can't use the gloves, and it's really nice to be able to use that fork. One of the things I was going to mention to you and Oliver both is when you're using the metal fork, you don't want to go into the super crotch part of the fork. You want to use the hottest part of the fork on the middle part of the foot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sense. Because I remember one time when I was blowing with Jeff Mack and I kept cracking his pieces because I kept going in, and he was like, why do you keep going in so deep? I'm like, I want to make sure I don't drop it. He's like, you're not going to drop it. Just use the outer edge. Yeah. Because you could flash it and this might not be hot.
Right. Understood.
Did you get that, Oliver?
Heard. That piece is almost a perfect match to the one that I had made too. Same color, straight lines. It looked really good in there.
Got a couple things to read. All right, cool. This one is not a question, but I will read it because it's a nice comment. Hannah says, it just hit me that all glass blowers learn from a master, but it's never going to be exactly alike because everyone is always going to make the technique their own. It's almost poetical.
Poetical. I agree.
Another question for you. She says, I don't have to read her name again, but I'll just ask the question.
Okay.
She says, has there ever been a piece that had a bubble in it and you left it to give it some character?
Just about every day.
It's kind of the nature of hand-blown glass, right?
It is, and we could be really particular about it, but we don't feel the need to. It does add character, and some people look for it and love it, and other people that don't find a piece that doesn't have a bubble in it.
One more question. Yeah. Yeah, so we can spin the wheel. One more question for you.
Yep.
John says, have you ever tried putting anything inside a sealed bubble like a Marini?
Frit.
Yeah, like in the mushroom stems?
Like in the mushroom stems.
That's cool. We've got a wheel spin for you guys.
So you want to put the wheel on the table?
So, as you guys know, we're trying to get back to our regular schedule of our themed shows, and coming up is our charity show. I believe that's next week, right, Michelle? Yeah. So next week is our charity show. So as you guys know, a portion of proceeds from the show will go towards one of these charities. Sarah looked at our list of suggestions that we had from you guys from the last time we asked for suggestions, very nice, and wrote those all down on the wheel. So 2 things for you guys. One, if you have a new suggestion for us for a charity, because our list is running low, please go ahead and put that in the comments, and I will make sure that gets added to Sarah's list of suggestions. We also are going to spin the wheel right now to see what charity our proceeds are going to go to next week. Sarah, would you like the honor?
Let's do it.
All right.
Charity show number 305. Those charity proceeds are going to the Cancer Research Institute.
Which is pretty fitting because it is Cancer Awareness Month. I know earlier Jody said it is Cancer Day, World Cancer Day. So that's kind of fitting.
Nice spin, Sarah.
Way to go.
Incredible.
So next week, charity show 305, our portion of proceeds are going to go to the Cancer Research Institute. We will have more information for you next week on their goals and their mission and their website, so you guys can either donate directly or buy a piece, and a portion of the proceeds will go towards it. Just a reminder for our giveaway piece for this week, the question is, guess how long it takes for a hand-blown glass piece to cool down before it's safe to touch. So you're going to send your best guess and your name in an email to enews@glassacademy.com. And we'll have an answer for you guys too next week, right?
Yes, we will.
All right.
And we'll have the next piece being made for you guys for free. So you best send your answers in.
So next piece is the giveaway.
That's right.
All right.
I wanted to highlight the quick como technique in the way that we've got these swirls and this paper thin top up here, but then a little bit of extra thickness with a pink haze, and you can feel the little line of when that pink gets on there on the bottom. And here's those clear stems we were talking about, really difficult to get the heart on there symmetrical and sturdy enough. Really beautiful thin foot as well. That's one of my favorites on the table.
Not so thin you're going to break it.
Exactly, not so thin you're going to break it. Number 10, notice how the color specks have been blown out so much wider, and they become hazy and kind of like a little halo effect.
Little clouds.
A little cloud effect. That's what adding this extra layer of color does to the glass. It's a really beautiful. Same thing up here, clear thin lip and this white swirly smooth extra purple quick como tech. It's a beautiful, beautiful design. 17, 10, and 12. I think you guys should get a look at them.
I do have that last piece that was just made live for sale on the website. So we've got the first piece of the day that was purple and red. Chris named it the Perps and Red Super V Treat. That is available on the website. And then we've also got the piece that was just made that is named the Perps Traditional Venetian Goblet. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link to that in the comments. But still 2 amazing pieces available. And then we are about to make the giveaway piece. So again, if you want to win this piece, you're going to send your answer to our giveaway question to enews@glassacademy.com with your answer and your name so we know who you are so we can read it on air next week.
Yes. Email us.
Oliver, could you read our question?
Yeah, I can. As soon as I find it to read it, it says, guess how long it takes for a hand-blown glass piece to cool down before it's safe to touch. Not until it's solid, not until it's hard, until it's safe to touch.
My favorite is when you guys pull glass pieces out of the annealer, and I can call them for pickup, and they're just a little bit toasty, and I just kind of stand there with it in my hands for a second.
Yeah. It's the lava rock to keep you warm, you know? Yeah.
All right, we got some molten glass going on over here.
This shall be the giveaway.
That's solid glass.
And this shall be... This is true.
The Shelby giveaway? Is that
Yes.
the Shelby family from the Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, those guys are good.
Yeah.
We're going to give another shot at the Heart Optic
Do it, man.
Cup Top. And it may or may not turn out. I'm going to try it in a little bit different of a way, and we'll see. But I just went with just transparent gold on top. And maybe we collab on this one. I'll get the design and the cup blown out, and then I'll put the stem on it, I'll put the foot on it, and then I'll pass
Flip it
off
around,
to Dad
and then
to
you
just
open it up.
Open it up.
And you can pass it off so that Chris can reduce it.
Yeah.
You want the feather tool out for you?
Where's that Marini that you pulled, the Heart
Yeah,
Marini?
sure.
I want to start busting some up.
It's in the annealer.
What?
Yeah, because it just won't bust correctly if it's
Did you
all-
say the word bus? Don't bring the word bus up.
dangerous. Oh!
Right mold, Jake. Right mold. Come on now.
Got it. Barely made it.
You were slinging that glass around.
Decision.
Wow.
Like a slinger.
All right, here's going to be the precision work on this one.
All right, everyone focus. Quiet on set.
Quiet down.
It just
Give
needs to be
yourself
perfect.
a lot of room on the next layer, Jake. Way more than you think. There you go. Because when you blow it out, they'll get bigger. You got to blow it out a little. I made mine too close.
Will you give me a little air, Oliver? Beautiful.
You see, my friend.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Even if we just get one heart out of this design,
That'd be cool.
it would be cool, but I'm going for them all.
I do think that the pinch with the tweezers and pushing back down is good for the top of the heart, but you got to remember, my hearts would have been upside down if they would have shown, so you got to do it the
I'm
the
going
opposite
for
way.
the move right now. I can't even hear any of that.
You can't?
No.
Just don't make them upside down. I guess Jake could be called the tugger.
Jake, focus. Don't laugh
All right,
at that.
blow.
We gotta focus.
Stop.
This one's for the kids.
Do it for the kids.
What about the lovers? It is a bunch of hearts.
I mean, I think everybody this year should try to go to a movie for Valentine's Day and sit in the very back row corner.
Everyone.
That's right. What?
I just went on a date on Sunday and it was pretty incredible.
Did you go to the movies?
Oh!
Didn't go to the movies though.
Where'd you go?
We went to an amazing restaurant downtown. It was pretty darn delicious, Blow. Good.
So what's your plans for Valentine's Day?
We just got to figure that out. It's all the information I can give right
All
now.
information you can give right now.
You know, this has been it's a long pole situation. It's coming to fruition.
Oh.
Blow light. A little more now. Stop. There's one that looks like a heart right there.
Or a set of Joker lips.
I was thinking the same thing when I was looking at them.
Big old kiss on the side of the piece. The bottom looks pretty tasty though. There's like a crazy star. Look at that.
So does the top.
So Sarah's standing over here listening to you guys, and she's newer to the Jake-isms and the Glass Academy lingo. So she is really like finding humor in this right now. You'll get used to it. Yes. Jake makes up words all the time. Tasty's another one that we use frequently.
Creamy, buttery.
Jake, Loretta would like to know the name of the restaurant you went to.
We went to Puma.
Oh, I've heard that's good.
It was pretty darn good. It was really good. It was like Hispanic, American, Cuban super fusion situation, and it was good. They poured some rum onto our ice cream at the end of it.
Fusion almost feels like melting pot.
Yeah, the American special.
I like ice cream.
No, you don't.
Also like rum. That sounds like a great combo.
Like, I gotta go try this.
Right up my alley.
They were like, "You want ice cream or dessert?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty much what happened."
It's a pretty exciting giveaway.
Yeah.
I just got in so much trouble last week at my house over ice cream.
Really?
I did the grocery shopping, and I was also like, after talking with Kayla, I planned on doing a lot of the cooking in the past week. And while I was grocery shopping, there was this container of chocolate Moose Tracks ice cream that just fell into my cart. And Moose
Little
Tracks,
harder.
for those of you who might not know what that is, it has peanut butter in it. And I love peanut butter, but Kayla is allergic and can't have it. So that's like that. The ice cream that just happened to fall into my cart is not something that could be shared with Kayla.
Goldfoot.
But
You want me to put that on there?
I figured,
I thought you
since
were
I was
opening it
doing
up.
all the cooking,
You can do it.
that I'd be the
Oh,
only
that's
one
good.
getting into the fridge except for leftovers and all that, and maybe it would go unnoticed and I could make this ice cream disappear without anyone noticing. And I made it 48 hours, and then I was in so much trouble for not also getting some nice vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream for Kayla. But
Well-
that's not what fell into the cart.
Oliver,
It does
I went
happen.
shopping the other day and I came home with a few chocolate volcano cakes. And when
I
I
don't know
got
anything about that. Jake, your eyes got real wide at that. What happened?
the next time I went to go in there to have one, I was wishing that Michelle was allergic to them like peanut butter because they were gone.
They were gone.
Yeah, right, whoever. I bought them and everyone told me I shouldn't be buying them and then they ate them.
All I did was come over for dinner and got offered a volcano cake, and I
What's
was
dessert,
like,
Jake? You came over for dinner and you also took dessert?
"Yeah, that's what it happens."
You ready, Jake?
Sure.
Speaking of food, I do have to ask the question, why do we have like a million turkeys in the freezer?
Speaking
you.
of food, Lucy and I were just up till midnight last night mixing and paticizing 25 pounds of raw
Paticide.
meat for our 3 cats. And we have 362 meals
Of raw meat.
of raw meat
You guys,
in
this
the freezer.
This is not Purina Town. This is raw meat.
I thought you were just talking about becoming a vegetarian like next week.
No, that wasn't me.
Isn't LB going to be like heartbroken when Lucy leaves now?
I sure hope not. She's a very independent champion cat.
You're going to have to get a second cat.
I know, everyone's telling me that. But I don't know if I can handle it.
You should get 4 more cats.
Right.
Just get 4
Just
more
4.
cats. Really escalate it. You know, Bess knows a lot of cats that need a home outside by her house.
Yeah, that's right.
I have kind of like a cat hotel situation going right now. I have this giant black tomcat who comes and sits on my back deck and just yells at the top of his lungs. I have him on video doing it. There's another cat who comes by and just kind of hangs out. And then I've still got the possum. He's still around every day.
I love a good old-fashioned possum.
Pete the possum.
Neighborhood possum. We did. Little chubber.
Just clap your hands a couple times, get a shovel, put it over the side of the fence, just lay it down gently in someone else's yard, and you got rid of them. And then they wake
I'll just
back
have
up
to-
and they take off.
I have to borrow the granny grabbers. I'll just grab it with that. And
Yeah.
There you go.
he's a cutie, though.
All right, Dad, this is all you.
Has he played dead for you yet?
No, I opened my cat house and he was in there. We kind of just stared at each other for a little bit, and I was like, all right, we're good. Like, you can stay. And then I walked away. He didn't play dead or anything.
If you did yell at him or clap your hands, he'd just fall over and
Oh,
play
no.
dead, and you could literally pick him up with the shovel and put him down the street or in the woods or whatever.
I mean, he eats ticks. He could be good for my backyard. He's just a baby. We'll
He
see.
eats sticks?
Ticks.
Oh.
Gotta
Like
have
if
some
he
good
eats
stick
sticks, I don't know
removal.
about that. All right, well, I got a handle on this now, literally. I'm gonna give it a little ripping. He's got it blown out pretty thin. I'm gonna give it the Puffin Riff alias. Oh, nope. I don't have a nice clean break here.
What?
You heard him, Jake.
Just a reminder that this is the giveaway piece. Our giveaway question for the week is guess how long it takes for a hand-blown piece to cool down before it's safe to touch. So you're going to send your name and your answer, your best guess, to enews@glassacademy.com. All entries get entered. You don't have to have it correct. It's just whatever you think is your best guess. And then what happens is Donna puts all of the entries, she takes your name and she puts them on a wheel, and she clicks the spin the wheel button, and then we see who wins. Totally randomized. There's no favoritism played. Spinthewheel.com. So you guys can win this tasty piece. There you go, Sarah. Tasty piece.
Real tasty. You know what else is tasty is that green mug on the table.
That's still my
I
favorite.
can't believe it's still there.
I know. That's one of my favorite mugs I've seen in a while.
Crazy. But number 9 is an absolute hitter with the ruby and gold combo swirler. That's a classic I didn't even highlight. With the bright contrasting pink and pink heart down on the bottom there. Yeah. Super nice.
What color heart you going for?
All right, we're gonna be going for some type of a heart. What kind, I don't know, because I haven't focused on them yet. But I'm gonna
Focusing.
grab the coolest looking one I see.
He's got a very golden clear, nice basic palette to work with here. So the options when it
Bring
comes
it on,
to
Ollie.
Heart Marini Mojo is aplenty. Here he comes. He's got that stem hot enough that the piece is bending, so he's letting it fall back on center. He went for the purple and gold right there. Whoosh. Beautiful stick all the way up in that stem.
Whoa, look at that.
That's
Whoa.
a nice piece.
That's called El Slumparoonie.
Now the trick is getting it back on center.
And the trick is heat it up and let it fall on center without forcing it.
We got some nice organizations. Thanks to Bea, Robert on the YT for our charity show.
We did write them all down. Sarah's going to take a look at them, and you might see them on the wheel in the future.
Love it. Looking forward to next week's show. We got some more heart-themed products, a little bit different of a design, but we've got the Heart Marinis coming up for next week's show, and yes, Michelle and I are going to be out of town. We're going to a business conference in Las Vegas. This is an organization that Michelle's been following for quite a while now, and I'm going to go get a taste of how things go down over there. And we're going to be spending a few days pumping up our business minds and coming back rejuvenated and ready to handle 2025. So next week it will be Chris, Oliver, Matt, and Bess on the show. And we're going to see what happens. Bess,
We
you're
know
gonna
what's
have to
going to
hold it
happen.
down.
I'm going to try.
A lot of craziness. You guys better watch because you're not going to believe what's going to happen.
I was warned about what might happen on next week's show.
Could get rowdy.
That's why my title on here is MC/cat herder.
Cat herder, cat wrangler.
But Matt's coming out of the basement.
Yeah, he is. He's excited. He's looking forward to it. He actually doesn't know yet, but he is really excited and looking
He
forward
might be
to
watching right now and just found out.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
he probably,
Surprise!
yeah, he probably did.
And I got to real quick see if I can't get my CDL between now and next Tuesday.
What is that?
Certified driving license.
Oh, nice.
It's the same thing that lets people drive semis and or school buses.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Again,
You can do it.
Trying.
You'll fill those shoes well.
all right.
Little reduction on there. He's got it all straightened up. This is a beautiful piece. Would love to be putting this one on the sales block, but this is going to be a freebie to some lucky son of a gun next week.
Have it till next
It's a
week.
gorgeous piece. Yeah, you got a week. Yep, if you're watching after the fact, we know we got a lot of people. I think our YouTube video is almost up to 2,000 views from last week. And if you guys are one of those 2,000 people this coming week that watches the show after the fact, I would highly suggest you enter the e-news so that next Tuesday you've got a chance to win this piece for free. Oliver's tucking that flame in until it's just right. He's got the stamp in his other hand. Chris is going to give us a demo on the forks, and I'm going to get the annealing oven door.
All right.
Go right side. How to what? Absolutely.
A nice looking batch of goodies in there.
It's a nice show.
Nice
Beautiful
work.
So that's how it's done, and we immediately shut off the hole. There's a lot of utilities going on in here, so that's a 2-hour show for the people. Show number 304, and I think that went about as smooth as it possibly could have gone.
Yeah.
I think there's still maybe one piece for sale from the show. We've got some pieces that'll be up for a week here on the Gathering Point table. And if you're brand new to the show, we stream every night live, 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights. And much other content. You should subscribe and follow us on all the social media.
Yep.
Write us a comment, enter to win.
Do all the
What
action
else?
steps. If
Become
you
a
haven't
member.
pressed like, I'm going to check on you, YouTube crew. I'm going to check so many likes there are. So you better like that video
right.
before it's too late.
That's right.
Tune in next week for the crazy show.
6 o'clock live on air.
You guys are going to have to help me in the comments. Keep track of them. Keep them
Yeah.
together.
All right, you guys. Have a beautiful week.
Have a lovely night.